all the time. This is ENCA.
Good evening from Johannesburg. I'm Nomvula Mokonyane. This is Let's Have It Out. Last week, we saw thousands of women across the country respond to the call by the hashtag Total Shutdown movement against the violence and abuse that is experienced by women and children in our country on a daily basis. On Friday, the 3rd of August, we were also confronted by the painful passing of Kensani Maseko, who took her own life following what we now know to have been an incident of rape earlier this year. On her last post on Instagram, she left us with the painful words, and I quote, "No one deserves to be raped," close quote. Which is the abuse and violence against women and children in our society. Other lessons to be drawn from the unity of the women who marched on Pretoria in 1956 against a regime so brutal that it killed, maimed, and tortured women, children, and men alike. What united them, and what must unite women of today? This is Let's Have It Out. You can have your say, and here is how.
Tweet us at ENCA using the hashtag LHIO. Call us on 011-759-6340 or send us a WhatsApp or WhatsApp video on 082-884-6370. And make sure those videos are no longer than 30 seconds, please.
Tonight, I have invited Mandisa Khanyile, a member of the National Task Team of the hashtag Total Shutdown movement, to discuss and explore the importance of the unity of women across politics, color, creed, and class in pursuit of a society free of rape, abuse, and violence against women. Mandisa, welcome to Let's Speak It Out. And thank you for joining me this particular evening.
Thank you, Minister.
Just for our own interaction, the experience that happened on the first day of the month of August, what has been your reflection and what are your own experiences?
Wow. Can I just start by saying it was such an emotional experience, especially for women on the ground. I remember when we had the moment of silence, we couldn't get to union buildings on time because it took so long to march. So we decided to actually have everybody seated on the street, and we observed a moment of silence. And there was a woman behind us in the front row who was saying this was her first time since her abuser told her she can never step foot in Pretoria again without being killed. And she's like, "I'm here, I'm alive, and I've conquered." And we all just cried in that moment. And it was just such a moment of unity of women who have been through this, regardless of race, color, creed, everything, who just understood the gravity of the lives lost to the struggle and how we need to do something about it. That's my reflections on the first, is that it was really a moment in time and in history where women decided that nothing else matters but actually fighting the scourge together.
And just on that, and your reflections beyond the march, what has been the reflection coming from your movement?
Look, the reflection is that we're working towards the Gender Summit. This is about solutions, and we need to create solutions. We cannot be lamenting forever about gender-based violence. We've been having symbolic marches. We've been talking about awareness. Now we need to say, let's partner with all stakeholders, and as individuals, every single person in this country.
Just there on all stakeholders, I know that one of the calls was to say men must stay away from the march.
Definitely.
Are they not also a critical stakeholder in this battle?
The importance of not having men at the march was one, so that they can understand consent. That no actually means no. That when we say as women want to march alone, we want to march alone. And we have the agency to make that decision. And we can champion our own issues without their intervention, without their encouragement, without their money, without them being able to spearhead it. We can do it ourselves. We don't need their help. Women have power. And that's what the first was about, to show that women have power. We are 52% of this population. We do not need for men to impose their views on how we should actually engage this struggle. As much as they are key in terms of helping with the solution, 100%. But right now, we were voicing our pain as women, and we wanted to do it collectively as women.
Do you really think that there will come a point where there is engagement, particularly with men who have demonstrated that they are not part of those perpetrators, as well as young men of South Africa and the boy child, including other stakeholders, particularly those that were not part of the march led by #Total Shutdown?
Of course. Everybody needs to come on board. This is an all-hands-on-deck situation. There's no individual in this country that is not going to be touched or has not been touched by this. So men, children, intersex persons, gender non-conforming people, trans people, everyone needs to be on board with this. Every single person, government, civil society, business, no one is untouched. Everybody needs to be a stakeholder in ensuring that we end GBV.
The younger generation of women in this country, actually the youth of this particular generation, have demonstrated their own impatience. What do you think has been the failure of older generations in pursuing or taking the stance that young people have actually taken on this particular stage?
I must say the older generation has come across as enablers. They are the ones that champion #not all men. They are the ones that say, yes, but not my father, not my brother. Instead of dealing with the issues of Uguti, there's a serious problem with masculinity and toxic masculinity in this country that's taught to every man. Some decide that they're going to bypass that and actually become better. But what's taught to men from a young age till forever is that they are superior to women, that women are owned by them. That's why they even call us our women, our girls. We want to protect our people. We don't belong to them. We're not theirs. And that's how toxic masculinity works. It takes away the agency of women and makes men believe that they own our bodies. So yes, the older generation has definitely championed the whole, yes, no, be respectful, know your place, you're a woman, you must understand, this needs to be dealt with in a corner, begezela, all of those things. That's definitely been the role that they've played. I'm not saying that the older generation are the only perpetuators.
Beyond protest and putting demands on government, what would you say as #Total Shutdown would be the responsibility around social mobilization, mobilizing civil society, and changing the conditions that contribute to this disrespect, humiliation, as well as taking away of lives of women?
As a movement, we have said that we want to engage all stakeholders. So government is going to be convening, for example, the Gender Summit, which you're having on the 31st of August. But all stakeholders need to be there. Business has failed us as women. They've failed us in terms of equal pay. They've failed us in terms of sexual harassment. Community-based organizations have failed us as women. We cannot walk safely in the streets of this country. So there's things that are outside of state organs that have been part of the process of ensuring that women are not safe. So what we are doing as a movement is that we're attacking each and every single one of these different aspects of a woman's life or a gender non-conforming person's life that lead to this taking place. And we're saying this needs to be addressed, that needs to be addressed, this partnership needs to happen in order for that to take place. And we need to start working on all of this together. And that's the only way that solutions can really be created. Because if we try and look at this in isolation and say, let's deal with policing, there's so many things that led to that police officer not opening a case, not taking a rape kit, a woman feeling unsafe, being the withdrawal of charges. You need to deal with the societal issues that actually led us there, and also even the intergovernmental problems that led us there, before we say that the problem, for example, is policing.
Stay with us as we continue the conversation after the break. Remember to use the #LHIO on your social media.